So lately you've been feeling really stuck and probably extremely overwhelmed and anxious with your online business, and you're feeling really close to burning out, like you're literally running on an empty tank, or at least you feel like you are. Well, stick around because in this video, I'm gonna teach you the ways in which I stop myself from burning out in my online business. Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am your host, Jennifer Morilla, and this YouTube channel is for coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs who are looking to grow using social media. And if you're excited to learn how to stop from burning out in your online business, then go ahead and give me that thumbs up, because in this video, I'm gonna dive deep and giving you guys some lessons that I've learned through my 7 years of experience between running a multiple six-figure business, a team, starting out, and scaling and growing my online business. So before we dive into my tips, let's define the general definition of burning out and having that mental, physical collapse that typically happens when you're about to burn out. The first things first, and I think it's the number one thing for most people, is like a lack of creativity, lack of purpose. The second really big thing that has happened to me is lack of sleep and a lot of fatigue. Like you are exhausted, for some reason you cannot fall asleep, your brain cannot turn off. Things that normally, and normally would take you like 10 to 20 minutes to complete, actually takes so much longer, and it overwhelms you because it's taking you so much longer, and you know that that task normally doesn't take you that much longer. Emotional numbness, these are all just very simple general ideas or general feelings that happen when you start to burn out. The one for me, and the one that has been the ultimate telltale sign that I'm about to burn out, is when I am losing lack of sleep, and when I am about to go to sleep, that my brain starts going off. I don't know if anybody's ever felt like this, and comment below and let me know, but you go to bed early, you're exhausted, like you physically feel really tired, and the moment your head hits the pillow, your mind starts going about everything that you're gonna do. It's like you're gonna cure cancer overnight, because your mind will literally not turn off. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but definitely has happened to me in the past, and that tells me that that is a telltale sign that I'm very close to burning out if I haven't already. Okay, now to give you a little bit of a backstory so you understand where I'm coming from, I've been running my business for 7 years, and if this is your first time here, what is up? Welcome. If you've been watching me for a while, thank you for coming back. I really appreciate you. I did this video because a lot of people really asked me about this. Like, they're very curious as to how I have such a momentous lifestyle and business. I'm constantly creating content. And while very much in front of the scenes, in front of you guys and what's on stage, that is what's being perceived, a lot of the times behind the scenes, I'm actually really tired, and I really pay attention to my body, and I've learned to manage my energy and really focus on my time. So what I'm gonna dive deep to in this video is really walk you through some personal experiences and some tools that I've used to help myself stop myself from burning out, because the truth is that once you get to that burnout portion, once you get there, it becomes so much harder to get back onto the momentum of running an online business. And I remember when I first started my online business, I hit burnout so many times that it really, if I would have just taken the time off when I needed it, it would have helped me versus burning out and then taking 2 or 3 months, or trying to get back on the bandwagon after 2 or 3 months of burning out. Okay, so let's dive into the very first thing I want you guys to remember. The overall census of this entire video and preventing burnout is really listening to yourself and checking in. So the first thing I like to do is slow down. If I'm starting to see any of those signs that I mentioned earlier, where I talked about being extremely anxious, feeling overwhelmed, having lack of sleep, a lot of fatigue, hitting the pillow and instantly thinking of 1,000 things that you need to do the next day, even though your body is exhausted, being really cranky and moody and emotional. If all of those things you are checking, or maybe I would say 3 of all those things you're checking, then chances are you are on your way to burning out if you are not very close or already have, right? So the first thing I like to do is slow down. And what I mean by slow down is really question and ask myself, okay, what am I doing that's not working? Where am I spending my time and energy that isn't important and is depleting me? Okay, so what I like to do is I take a look at my day. What is going on in the day that really doesn't need me, but I know needs to get done, that I can pass on to my team? And I will get to that in just a second, don't you worry. Because especially if you're just starting out, you're probably like, Jen, I don't have a team. Like, what are you talking about? I do things all on my own because I am a solo entrepreneur, yada, yada, yada. We will talk into that. But the first thing I do is really take a look at my actual day. What are the things that actually need to get done? And I make a list of that. Now, understand that if you had said yes to all of the things that I mentioned just a few seconds ago that really make you anxious, that your lack of sleep, your lack of energy, it's affecting your health, etc., then I want you to not worry about work right now. And I know that that might not help, but trust me, in the long term, it will. And so what I do is I really slow down. I check in with my day. I check in with what's going on. I check in with myself. Do I need a little bit of extra sleep? Am I eating a healthy meal? Am I staying away from alcohol? All those things are extremely important. I don't know if you've ever heard the sayings, you are what you eat, but that is a big part of it, right? And what I really like to do is create some type of discipline or habit for myself. So preventing burnout, one of the biggest things I have is an early morning routine. Now, you're talking to someone who never was a morning person, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the kind of person that wakes up every morning and is like constantly meditating and journaling. I do that often enough, but not as often as people think, just because I live my life and I also really love to sleep. But I make it a point to do those things at least once a day before I go to bed. Whether it's meditation or journaling, like those are the things that I really enjoy doing. But I have a morning routine, and that's what I start to look at. So I take a step back and I slow down and I look at my day to day. Where can I find time for me? And maybe that looks like waking up a little bit earlier and getting some exercise in. And maybe if your body needs extra sleep, just sleeping in, not making yourself feel bad for doing those things, okay? The second thing that I do is I like to take a slow morning. And what I mean by a slow morning is like maybe I'll do a stretch, maybe I'll do a meditation, maybe I'll journal, I'll listen to a really good podcast, I'll make a yummy breakfast, I get in the shower, I get ready, and then I sit down at my desk and start my day. I start my day with the very easy, simple things that need to get done. So maybe that looks like emails, team check-in, etc. For those of you that don't have teams and you're watching this looks like you really planning out what exactly is a priority for you in the day. And by priority, you need to think of what is the thing that is bringing in money, okay? Now, one of the biggest ways to prevent burnout is creating a habit and a discipline. And what I mean by that is making sure you're checking in with yourself, making sure you have created a routine that supports that environment, right? There's an awesome book that I highly recommend called Atomic Habits. Oh, this book is life-changing. I cannot tell you how amazing this book is. And so I highly recommend that if you haven't read it, you check it out. But this book really talks about creating habit and discipline and how that helps from burning out and really building consistency in your life, okay? So that's the first thing that I would definitely dive into. The next thing I would check in with is, are you exercising? Like, these are things that are so important. And look, I'm not someone who's going to a CrossFit class every day and like, you know, working out 7 hours a day. That would be really nice, but I'm actually not that person. So I love to go for walks. I take my dog on 3 walks a day, minimum 2 walks a day for 15 to 30 minutes. I put on a good Audible or a podcast session and I just get in the zone and I give her a walk. Not only is that good for her, but it's also good for me because I'm not staring at the screen. As entrepreneurs, we are super busy all the time, and especially if you have online businesses, chances are you're on social media or you're on your computer for the 8 hours that you are working, if not more. And so really taking your eyes off the computer is, oh my God, it's such a game changer, okay? So really making sure that you're exercising. Another thing I like to do to hold myself accountable, and this is going back to the discipline of creating habits, is scheduling classes. I'm the kind of person that if I say I'm gonna commit to something, I make it happen. So that looks like if I have a yoga class in the morning and I can make it at like a 7 a.m. class, I make it a point to sign up for that class and I go to that class. And so what I do is I do yoga and Pilates, and I promise myself that I go to 2 of those classes 2 times a week, right? So that means that I'm working out 4 times a week, which is great. While I'm having my 3 meals a day and eating really healthy and getting in my 30-minute walks 2 times a day, I'm getting those steps in, guys, is what I'm trying to say, right? But all in all, I am not just focused on the computer, on the social media, I'm focusing on myself. You see how all of this goes back to you? Like, in order for you to prevent burnout, these are the things that you really want to consider. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is scheduling your days, and this was an ultimate game changer for me. And what I mean is, look at your days of the week, Monday through Friday. How are you spending each day of the week? Mondays for me are team days. So that means that I don't take any client calls and I'm on the phone checking with my team. So from the weekend before, I approve anything that needs to be approved on ClickUp or Asana. I touch base with my operations manager, what's coming in, what's gonna happen, what are the goals for the week, all the things. And I take this time to really focus on what's happening in my business. I check in on invoices, any proposals that I needed to send out from the weekend before, any emails, any anybody that didn't respond to me, anybody I need to check on for. That's what I spend my Mondays doing. My Tuesdays and my Wednesdays are clients. So that means any client work that I have, anything I need to approve, any meetings that I have with my clients, and that will happen Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then sometimes I also do press and interviews. So for example, if I have an interview for a podcast or an interview for a speaking gig or something, chances are I will take it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I will take that time. Thursdays and Fridays are content days. And what I mean by that is these are days that I sit down and I script, do research, and prepare to film either Thursday or Friday, depending on the week, and I create content. And that is exactly what my week looks like. Like every day is planned out for a specific reason, and I stick to that plan. I really try not to deviate from that because it just helps me to really stay focused and disciplined. Keep in mind that I am checking emails every single day, and I check emails twice a day. I check emails in the morning and I check emails in the afternoon. I make sure to remove the mailbox from my screen, like my computer screen, simply because I get super distracted, and someone who has ADHD, like it's really hard for me to just stay in one place. And so if I see an email pop up that I know is important, like I'll just go back to the email and then I come back to work, and it's just this big flip-flop back and forth. So I highly, highly recommend that you make it a discipline that you only check emails in the morning and in the evening before you check out for the day. Another thing that has been the ultimate game changer for me is muting my phone. And what I mean by that is I silence my phone. The new update for the iPhone, and I'm sure the Android has this feature as well, you can put your phone on work mode or on focus mode, do not disturb. That's essentially what I do. My phone on do not disturb, and that has been the biggest game changer. I also mute my social media accounts. So Instagram, totally mute it for 8 hours so that I can focus on work. And a lot of the times I do that on Thursdays and Fridays so that I'm actually getting work done and I'm doing the thing that I set out to do. So that is basically pure boundaries. How am I creating the discipline and the boundaries within my business to make sure that I am not wasting my energy on shit that really doesn't matter? The next really big game-changing thing that has been the ultimate game changer in my business has been creating boundaries with my clients. My clients know that my calls are Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and they can book a call from 10 a.m. all the way up until 6 p.m. at night and no more than that, right? And I really try to make that a non-negotiable for myself, like answering clients. I have a program where they have communication, my clients have communication with me via Slack, and I'm in Slack 3 times a day. And so what I do is I block off time on my calendar where I'm on Slack between 9 and 10, and then 1 to 2, and then 4 to 5, right? And I make sure that those times specifically, I am in there supporting those clients, really helping people move the needle in their business, and then I am actually doing my job, right? And I actually block off time on my calendar, you guys. That has been like such a game changer. The fact that you can put stuff into your calendar and you can see it in your Google Calendar really has allowed me to show up and change the way I do my business and just really follow through with the things that I have to do. Like I literally have my morning routine blocked off on my calendar. I literally tell people, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. Okay, to sum everything up all nice and neat, the first thing you do when you feel like you're about to burn out or you are burning out is you slow down. Check in with your body. What do you need? Do you need a healthy meal? Do you need to stay away from alcohol? Do you need to drink a lot of water? Do you need to maybe have a lot of veggies? Do you need a big breakfast? Do you need extra sleep? Do you need to go for a walk or maybe get some exercise in? Really check in with yourself and ask yourself what is missing and how can you support yourself, okay? The second thing you want to do is look at your actual support system. What is in place to help you hold you accountable, have that discipline, and build those priorities and have those boundaries for you. I take a look at my calendar and I look at my day-to-day and what I am completing, what needs to get done in my business. I allocate each and every single day of my business has a specific theme. Mondays are team days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are clients, and Thursdays and Fridays are content, right? Content and sales. And that looks like sales calls, that looks like creating content, all of that jazz. But each day is very specific to what is happening in my business, and I make sure I keep it that way. I create a discipline and a habit in my routine, waking up in the morning. I don't have to wake up super early, but really having a nice breakfast, taking Rosie, my dog, for a walk, really taking care of myself and checking in with that, maybe putting in a yoga class or scheduling a Pilates class, whatever feels really good to me, and having that support system into place. Another big thing that has ultimately helped me that I didn't mention earlier is therapy. Therapy has really helped me just ground myself and feel like I'm releasing a lot of the energy that I'm keeping within, okay? Third thing is making sure you're exercising. Make sure you're really listening to your body, and you don't have to do extraneous exercises where you need to like work out 7 hours a day, but really focus on what makes your body feel good, right? Like moving your body, whether it's listening to music and dancing in the kitchen while you're making something yummy to eat, or walking your dog, or signing up for yoga, Pilates, or a boxing class, or whatever it is that you love to do, maybe going for a run, making sure you schedule that time to do that. And the fifth thing is really scheduling your calendar, making sure that you block time off on your calendar for the things that are needed. Being very intentional with your time. Is your energy going to things that are uplifting you versus depleting you, right? Focusing on having those client boundaries, making sure that you're not disrespecting yourself and overseeing those client boundaries because your clients need you at 8 o'clock at night or something like that. Like, no, if you have a date night on a Thursday, have that date night, you know, make it a habit, a discipline, a promise to yourself that you're going to give yourself that time and space. I promise you this, my friends, business will be there. All of the work will always be there. And the truth is that my to-do list never goes away. It is always being added on, and there's no way in hell you're gonna be able to just end it overnight. Like, it does not work that way. Last but not least is do what makes you happy. Whether that looks like coloring, drawing, painting, taking a cooking class, a pottery class, hanging out with girlfriends, taking a vacation, reading a book, sleeping, whatever makes you happy, because sleeping is one of my favorite hobbies. I cannot tell you how much or how important it is, because the amount of times that I have burnt out, and it has taken me much more longer to get back into my business and get momentum and do the thing versus just taking a week off, being on vacation, reflecting and taking time off, so that when I came back, I was ready to kill it. So my friends, that is what I have for you today. I hope you found this video super helpful. Drop me in the comments below what you thought about this, any tips that you might have for preventing burnout that I didn't mention earlier that has really worked for you. I'm curious to hear what's up with that. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. And until next time, I will see you soon. Again, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to give me that like, but I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.